reaction review. We do all kinds of stuff here on the We Trying channel. Leroy's topping off a cup of ale of something. I don't know.
This is the Cheer Wine Noda Brewing Company ale.
Is that the thing you tagged Corey in or something?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay, got
Yep.
it. Got it.
Let's start this show off properly.
Mhm.
This is a white flag of defeat, surrender.
I mean,
I
just
know when we've been beat.
just yesterday in videos, you were like, "Hey, we can still do it."
Oh yeah, 2-0 down to 0-2. We can still
Uh-huh.
do it. I watched tonight's game.
Uh-huh.
It's like they knew they were beat.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it's like, you know what? I'm if you're new to the channel, I'm Leroy. That's Michael. I'm a Boston Celtics fan. By the flag behind me, beat Philly. Beat Philly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, team got beat, hands down, out coached. I'm gonna be honest with you. This might be a sweep. So Heat fans, I salute you. I was wrong. You were right.
Playoff Jimmy out here just wrecking shop.
Hey man, playoff Jimmy is a beast. That's that. Hey, that man's a monster.
Right.
And hey, on the baseball season.
Okay, there we go.
Go
Let's
Red
go
Sox.
Red Sox. There we go. Fantastic. Yeah, but we will not be dissecting the NBA playoffs, at least not on this video. No, we are going to review the latest in the Fast saga.
The sequel to Fast 9, Fast 10.
Yeah, the Dominique Toretto saga. What a movie, man. I have so many emotions about this thing. I saw it in 4DX. That was a great experience. I tell anybody, if you can see an action movie or a set piece like that, if you have a 4DX theater around you, or even if it's like an hour away, you may want to think about taking a trip. It's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. But like just quick thoughts. I have mixed emotions about this movie. I liked a lot of it. A lot of it is just like, this is what we're doing. We're just all right. I mean, okay. I don't even know, man. I don't love the movie. I don't hate the movie. But I'm definitely like, let's start to wrap this franchise up.
So
you guys are running out of ideas.
I don't think they're running out of ideas. That's not the problem with this franchise. That's so here's the thing. And you've said and you're not the only person who said it. It's been said before. However, there is something missing in these movies. And if you go back and if you've watched them, some people are not fans of these films. I understand that. But they had a je ne sais quoi to them after a certain point. So
I wouldn't use that phrase for these type of movies, but okay, I understand what you're saying.
I would too. I would say there's a quality that they have that is hard to pin down that these movies had that they no longer have. And this movie, more so than any other movie, is the movie. If you're watching a comedy movie about Hollywood, let's say Tropic Thunder, and they're making a movie about making a movie, and they show vignettes from another movie that the actors are in. So let's take the four main characters. We had Ben Stiller, Jack Black. I'm trying to think. Robert Downey Jr. And who was the black guy? I'm trying to remember what his name was.
Brandon T. Jackson.
Brandon T. Jackson. Okay. Do you remember the movies that they showed the trailers or little clips from that they did?
Yeah.
That's what Fast 10 is. Fast 10 is a fake movie and another movie that we're going to make fun of. And I think that's you've lost that feeling, that touch that you had. And the only thing that held this movie together was Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he was the best part. I'm not the first person to say this. I've seen it before, but Fast X brought Joker to the Fast Furious universe, or a Joker-like character.
You said it best when you texted me after you watched it. Jason Momoa understood the assignment.
He did. He knew what movie he was in.
And,
I would have
and
loved. He had a good time in this movie, and it shows.
there are people in this movie who understood what the movie was, and they had fun doing it. Alan Richman or Ritson, is that how you say Alan Ritson? Alan Ritson,
Alan Richardson.
John Cena, and Jason Momoa.
Hmm.
They knew what movie they were in. Everybody else,
Maybe they're just tired of doing 11 movies. Maybe they're tired after 20 years.
maybe I don't know, but I'm not trying to bash the movie. I'm not, because I actually liked a lot of parts of it. I really did. My problem with the movie is, once again, we have seen the trailer and we've seen the movie, and I really was hoping that wasn't going to be the case this time, and
Man,
we
I think
saw.
once we knew Hobbs and Shaw, once we saw Hobbs and Shaw, we're like, oh, that's just what these movies do now. They show
But that,
everything.
but see and that's the big problem, because there wasn't any of those emotional moments that weren't already revealed. Or I don't say emotional moments, but there you saw all the story beats in the trailer.
I would say there was a couple of things that happened movie wise that weren't in the trailer that I thought was interesting.
I mean, that were interesting, but pretty much everything that you saw, you put two and two together once you've seen the trailer. So if you haven't seen the movie yet, stop right here, because we're going to get into spoilers in a little bit. Watch the movie, judge for yourself. I enjoyed it, I really did, but I
I
thought it
liked it.
was,
Yeah.
but it was very over the top, and I I think their height is 5 through 8. Those are the best ones.
Okay.
You know what? I'll say maybe 4, depending on how I feel. But 5 through 8, that's the key of this franchise. That's where you're like, okay, I'm feeling this. All right. So out of for Fast 10, review wise, before we get to spoilers, I recommend you seeing it. I do recommend you seeing it on a big screen. Um, I give this movie a 2.5. Um, a 2.5 bank vaults out of 5.
Okay. I give it a 3 out of 5 blade licks.
Blade lips.
Blade licks.
Oh, blade licks. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Because that's the thing that people do now. Like communicable diseases don't exist. We just licking blades with people's blood on it. It's fine.
Sir, they rolled bombs in Rome. I mean,
Yeah.
so yeah. So let's get to it, man.
You want to get right into them spoilers.
Let's just get right into it.
Okay, here we go. Spoilers. Where you want to start?
Um,
You want to start with the fact that they made a child a murderer and told him it was okay to murder people and laugh about it?
no, I mean, you can
Okay.
start there. You can start there.
No, like these movies have escalated. I think in your text you said they jumped the shark. I feel like
Yeah.
they jumped the shark in 5, but we just accepted it. I just mean they're just like, hey, at this point, you were in for the ride. So we as a society have said we've given you millions and billions of. Have they anyone made billions? Yeah, a couple of them
They've
made
definitely made $1 billion. Hell,
like individual movies. I think individual movies have probably reached at least 1 or 2 have made $1 billion worldwide, right?
probably.
But yeah, anyway, the franchise has definitely made billions of dollars. We as a society have said, you know what? We're in for the ride. We'll let you do foolishness. And it's just more and more shark jumping events, which is I'm fine with, but it's just the idea that so many people are connected. It almost has like a a Skywalker issue where like there's only one universe, there's only one family in Star Wars. There's only one family in this world, the Dominic Toretto family. And everybody just is connected to them either by villain or friend.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna go a step further, and I understand where you're going, but here's the biggest problem that this film franchise has. It has a Dominic Toretto problem.
I mean,
It is a Dominic Toretto problem, because when you had the films before, up until 7, you had Paul Walker, and now that Paul Walker is no longer with us, Toretto has now become the star of the family. Whereas before, he was the leader of the family,
Mhm.
but he he didn't rule. He wasn't a dictatorship.
You had a heart in Paul Walker.
Not just a heart. You had a seamless working relationship. Everybody had a role, and each of them were independently important in that role. Now everything revolves around Dom. And when you have that issue, your whole movie suffers because here's the thing that I started to notice, and maybe I didn't notice it before, and you know, chat in the comments, let me know if I missed it. I noticed it in nine somewhat because they went heavy in it. Every slow mo shot is Dom doing something that I just in my head I made fun of, that I just laughed ironically because I was like, that why are you slow mowing when Dom picks up Elena's sister? Why are you like everything was slow mo Dom just, and I'm like, they don't even do this in Marvel movies.
Yeah, not to
And
this
I,
extent.
and I was like, this is getting a little excessive. And again, it's a lot of exposition. It was a lot of pretty people walking in a room, talking at each other, and then leaving. The scene with Brie Larson and Richson, that whole scene where they introduced each other. Oh, little nobody's daughter, and you're now the head of the agency. Like that room that was like, okay, who are these people? Who are the shadow people? Like
This
it,
crazy black site room with the
yes.
revolving locks. Like,
Hmm.
where is this made?
And I
Because this
was
place
like,
is awesome.
and it was all these different these little things that I just kept noticing that I was like, I understand the franchise has changed. I understand, and I'm okay with it. I
They're
like
not
it.
stealing VCRs and DVDs anymore.
They're not, and I will say this: they did a very good job. The things that I liked about this film is they did a very good job of showing you the transitions of where they are now and where they came from. I really like that. I really enjoyed Richardson's role. I really liked. He stood out to me.
Did you
Um,
know he was a villain from the beginning?
yes,
Because
only
you saw his big ass blue suit at the beginning of the movie. I was like,
because
that dude is too fucking big. Clearly, that's him.
you can't hide a white man that size.
It's the same thing with The Rock and Black Adam. You were too big for us to think it's not you, but whatever.
Son, because I was like, so I was when we so here's the thing, when I knew he was the villain, when I knew that wasn't John Cena, I was like, look, there were two large white men in this movie. That's
Hmm.
either John Cena or that's Alan Richardson. And I was
Hmm.
like, so when John Cena, spoiler alert, that's what the orange is for. When John Cena died, I was like,
When
he's.
Don Cena took a little nap, he'll be back. Because nobody dies. It's impossible.
I mean, his buddy in Brazil died.
Which one?
The one because remember he had to
Oh, I'm
save.
sorry. Anybody that is directly connected to the Toretto family, they can't die.
Hey man, you say what you want,
Giselle
Joe.
is back. How is Giselle back? I don't know. I love Gal Gadot.
I
It's great. But how are you back?
I hold on. I wish I knew the video that I told you she was coming back. I told you she was coming back. I
You
told you
did.
years ago. I was like, oh, because I told you that this was going to happen. Because and you were like, they can't bring her back. I was like, I'm telling you, they go bring that girl back.
I was
And
mistaken.
I said the harder part was going to bring the Rock back.
They said, hold my beer. We'll do both in the
and
same movie.
and they did it.
They
Now,
did it.
here's the thing. Now, if you really want to jump the shark, bring Elena back.
I mean, honestly,
Because
do it.
here's what I want to happen.
Because I've seen a movie where somebody got shot in the head and they came back. It was called Kingsman 2.
Here's what I
Colin
want
Firth
to
definitely
happen.
got shot in the head. Go
Here's
ahead.
what I want to happen.
Mhm.
I want Dom to ride off into sunset with Elena and Letty, and he has two sister wives, and they raise children together.
This movie is so.
And here's
I
the
don't know,
thing:
how do I want to say
if
this?
if they did it, you would still ride with it.
I don't think I would. I mean, at this point, who cares? I'm one person, so it doesn't matter. But and I don't want to reduce this person to just physical looks, but Michelle Rodriguez has gotten progressively more beautiful. I guess as she's just getting older, she's grace. I don't know, aging gracefully, whatever it is, but she looks incredible.
I also think
She looks incredible throughout this whole movie, and
I think
whatever this white T-shirt thing is looks great on her. But her whole character exists just to worry about Dom, and like she doesn't
Yes.
have any agency. And it's like Michelle Rodriguez should have agency. Now that's a badass fight scene between her and Charlize Theron. That's like, man, when is Old Guard 2 coming out? Because that fight scene was awesome. But exists just to serve Dom, and it's like that kind of
But
sucks
that
for her.
but that's my point. Everything revolves around. Look, Dom is the planet that everything revolves around.
You're right.
And it used to be so when I texted you after watching this movie, I came home and I was like, what the like I was just like, what did I just watch? Because I had to
Hmm.
decompress, and I was like, I had so many thoughts and so many ideas that I was like, okay, let me stop. Let me go back. And I texted you, what was I going to watch?
I think you said you were going to watch like 9. You were going to watch another one or something,
I
maybe
was going to
7 or
watch seven.
something.
Yep. I went
7.
back and
Yeah.
watched seven. And that's when everything was crystal clear. Up until that point, there was a reason why they were doing what they were doing. And Brian was there to balance out Dom. So there's a point in 7 where Dom tells Mr. Nobody, we're going to get up early. We're going now because they were going to go try to kill.
In his words, my team's of racers. They're not killers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. And who shows up with him?
Paul Walker.
Brian. Yep.
Brian.
Brian shows up with a shotgun. It was like, I knew you were going to say that
Hmm.
because they were a team. And Dom did his best to shield the team from things that he didn't want them to see. And Brian was also a part of that, but also Dom and them having this reciprocal relationship of what happens as you grow up and grow older. You
Mhm.
become like that whole like that and it does mean more to me now because I am a father. I do get it. But the minivan part, when they're running around doing all this stuff, and then Brian's like, okay, trying to figure out how to do the carpool line. That stuff made sense because of the things that were happening to the crew. And it's like, okay, they kind of touched on it a little bit in 8 and 8, 9 a little bit, where they were like, okay, somebody's coming, hide. But in this movie, they completely threw everything out of the water because they had a system with the little boy. Now, all these people trying to kill him, and the little boy don't know what to do. He knew what to do earlier in the film in 9 than he did in 10.
He knew
And I
what to
was,
do in 10.
no, he didn't.
Yeah, he went to the bathroom.
Sir, they had a whole system in place since 9. Remember, he went underground.
Well,
So
that place
no,
don't. They ain't living on the farm anymore. They're back in L.A.
hold on. As much money as they got, they could see that. See, the problem with these movies is in the previous movies they had explanations for this bullshit that they had, and
Hmm.
now it's just like, nah, Dom and Letty in this life, like the fact that there was no mention, like you know what to do. There was, it
I
just
feel
didn't
like that. I
work.
feel like somebody said that at least once to
He
Little
did,
B.
what I'm saying is he said it, but it was like, what did he do?
Hmm.
And that little boy just seemed so out of his element. And I'm not
I will
knocking
say
at.
this: that actor,
Mhm.
he's the only character in this movie that realizes the shit that they're doing is fucking crazy. Because every time something explodes, like, whoa, that's cool. But like all the other actors, like they don't react to it. And I guess the idea is that because they do it all the time, but I still feel like, no, you're doing crazy stuff. You should be reacting like, I can't believe we just got away with this.
Well,
That's wild.
I think they did, and
Did
that's
they?
what I said. But think back to 9. They sent Negroes to space, man.
No, 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 no,
They,
no. I'm talking about in 10.
but see, that's my point. Because everything is, oh, Dom's gonna just, and we come to expect that. Like when they were like, Dom, you tried to save all these people. Get out, man. Nah, he jumped a car to hit a crane to knock a bomb into the river, knocked his car down off an embankment,
Hmm.
drove, nosed his ass to get from the bomb blast. And everybody was like, yeah, man, we do that shit on a Tuesday. And I was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
there wasn't any of this, hey, how are we still alive? And that's why I said, I know you had problems with 9. I like 9. I really like 9 because 9 had some introspection that was like, hey man, we should be dead.
My
Tez,
my thing with 9 was I don't feel like you should get points for acknowledging it if you're not going to go any further. Like all he said was, "Yeah, it's crazy," but then they don't explain it beyond. It's like I want you to explain it.
see, and see that's where I differ. But I do see, I differ with that. I agree with that they did it. I like that they did it. At least the acknowledgement. My problem with it is the thing that you brought up at 9. They were missing the heart. You could tell they were missing Brian because once again, with Paul Walker gone, the other person who balanced out Dom was The Rock. And with The Rock gone, you brought in John Cena. And it kind of worked. But now you didn't have anybody, and it was just Dom.
Mhm.
And that's where the movie falls apart for me because it seemed as if they had no contingency plan for having real enemies when they've done all of this stuff. It was almost like you remember as a kid and you play tag and you get to the base and just like safe, and
Mhm.
everybody agrees that the game is over. That's what they did in this movie. It
Mhm.
was like, hey, me and Letty go raise this kid and safe. And we all agree that the game is over.
Mhm.
And then it was like somebody else was like, nah, bitch, the game ain't over. You killed my pops. I'm gonna fuck every single one of you up. And
Mhm.
they were like, hey man, that's not fair. We said safe. And he was like,
Yeah, pretty
no.
much
And
licking and stabbing and
and
stabbing and licking.
and that's why I said Jason Momoa knew what movie he was in.
Oh
Where
yeah,
everybody else was like, Dom, what are we gonna do? And I was like, y'all were smarter back in the day. Tej was smarter. Um, Ramsey was smarter. Hell, Tyrese was smarter. In 7, it was Tyrese's idea to jump and drop into the most secure part to rescue Ramses.
sure.
Like it's just this movie just had so many flaws, and it makes me understand why Justin Lin left. Was it
And here's the
Justin?
part that's where Justin Lin left.
Mhm.
He left. I think he was still a producer on it.
He's
But if
still
you
a
watch the
producer.
credits, the story is still by him. So is the screenplay. So it's weird. It's like, what exactly didn't you agree on? Because clearly, somehow, the credit is still going to you for part of this script. So which
Here's what I
part are you
wonder:
like?
how much? And here's the thing: we because and we don't know this, and I wish we had someone within the um. It's been explained before, but I can't explain it. You certain amount of the movie, if it's done by you or the script is used by you, you have to get a credit.
Right?
It's
No, no.
and so I don't know how much like what parts of the movie he did, and
Right.
because me personally, I don't think any of those slow motion shots were his.
No, because that's not really how he shoots. I feel like that was
Mhm.
probably the director that came in, Louis
Lewis,
Leterrier or
yeah,
whatever.
and
Um,
because
and
and
I like him and stuff. He's done Now You See Me, I think 1 and
mhm.
2.
Yep.
I want to say he did he do the Hulk? The
No, the second one, the first one was England.
the MCU Hulk.
There was no MCU Hulk.
Sorry, not the one that wasn't the one with
Eh,
Ed Norton.
oh, okay. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was about to say. I was like, there is no MCU Hulk. I was like,
I
that
feel like
was.
that was Louis Leterrier. It might not be. I don't know.
I'm looking it up right now. Hold on, give me a second.
Um, but I say all that to say it's just like,
You're right. He did do Incredible Hulk.
yeah,
See,
I
I remember him from the Transporter.
I forgot about that.
Yep, he Transporter and Unleashed. I think Unleashed is his best movie.
Alicia was good. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely. I'm just trying to figure out like what exactly Justin and Ben had a disagreement about. I
I
feel like Justin was like, "Hey, man, we doing a little bit too much with Dom's character." And Dom's like,
and
"Hey, no, this makes sense." Like Dom, it doesn't,
and so
and you don't got nobody to fight back.
and see that and that's the problem. You don't have anybody that I think Vin Diesel will listen to who's like, hey, maybe we're going a little too Dom heavy because
Hmm.
everything revolves around you. Because here's my thing. We just barely touched on the fact that Han's back. Like when they did the dating profile thing. I'm like, where is the whole holy shit, man? You're back. Also, where's the little girl he died protecting?
She doesn't matter anymore.
It's so it's little things like I guess, and that's why I said I have a problem with this film because it's almost as if they acknowledge the films that came before it and an homage to the films that came before it while also acting like this is the first time we're doing this stuff.
Well, I mean, but that's been an issue since 5 or 6. Like they would do something wild and then they just move on.
I wouldn't say move on, but it's like to me there seems to be no in my opinion, I think they did a better job in the past of acknowledging the crazy shit that they do. So remember in Seven when they jumped the cars?
Hmm.
Dom had a hard time lifting the car. Remember that? He lifted the car and Paul
I mean,
Walker.
did he?
Hold on. So this is the thing. If you remember in Seven, when they were trying to get the hard drive and it was in the car, he's like, "Hey man, you could lift this," and Dom was like, and Paul Walker slides into the car, and it was this joke. He was like, "Hey man, you got this, right?" And he slides under, and Dom is struggling with the car. He's like, "Brian, man, hurry up!" And he's like, "Almost got it." He's like, "No, no, 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 f that," and he puts the car down, and they get in the car, and they jump the building.
Hmm.
That was a great scene.
Hmm.
Let's fast forward to 9. Dom pulled an Incredible Hulk and chained the entire building down on them so
Sure.
his team could get away. And
Hmm.
it's like that was 2 movies ago, bruh. And so like that's what I'm saying. Like the way that they're shooting these and the way that the playful banter was back in the day when Dom would do something that was like, okay, that's Herculean. Yeah, some of the stuff was a little outrageous, but you were willing to go with it. And it's a little hint of, okay, that's stupid. Perfect example in Seven. Jason Statham and Vin Diesel have a contract that says, and the reason why that fight ended up in a draw, it's been reported they have a contract that says they cannot lose on screen, a fight on screen. And if you go back and watch some of Jason Statham stuff, not from the beginning, but after a certain point when he hits it big, the fights are totally different in his movies. The way he fights, how he fights, who he fights is totally different. Hence why in Hobbs and Shaw, you had to have the I punch, you punch crap that happened at the end with Idris Elba, right?
Hmm.
So you see that kind of stuff creeping into these movies, and they seem to overtake the comedy and the lighthearted part of these movies that we used to have and laugh at, that we used to have a good time with.
Well, yeah,
And
that's why they let Tyrese and Han get the shit beat out of them.
true, but it's just one of those things where it's like that's the problem with these films. There used to be a heart and a lightheartedness to them.
Sure.
And I think now that it's become, and one, is Dom Mexican or Italian?
Bruh. Sir.
Was I the only one thinking that
Oh
in the movie?
no. I thought that the entire time
I was-
because Vin Diesel and Jordana Brewster are in no way ever related. Mia and Dom have never looked related since the first one.
Son, but
Nothing
here's
about
the
this
thing.
makes sense. And
Here,
then you add John Cena, who's as white as fuck. I love John Cena. You ain't related to these two.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I was willing to buy Dom and Jordana Brewster being brother and sister
Uh-huh.
only because I was like, maybe y'all have,
Uh-huh.
and I was like, maybe one of y'all is a side baby,
Uh-huh.
and y'all like, look, we all know some people have family members who ain't been on the up and up. I don't know if you've been to a funeral before.
Sure. You should be like, I don't know you. You knew. Oh, yeah, this is a secret family you don't know about. But like, as funny as you say that, that has been addressed in the movie because Cypher talks about the Toretto bloodline being famously mixed.
Yes.
So they at least, I guess that's their way of saying he could be
Yes.
whatever.
And
Sure. Okay.
so I was willing to believe it. Somebody
But
posted a meme.
Little B ain't his fucking kid. No way that kid is from
Son,
Elena and Dom.
son,
That kid is
son.
too dark.
I was so upset about that.
Unacceptable.
I was like, okay, and here's the problem. I have kids that are as light as I don't know what.
Mhm.
So, like, I was sitting up there like, bruh, I'm willing to believe the car shit. I'm willing to believe that you saved Rome. I'm not believing that goddamn kid is yours.
No, not at all.
It's like,
Not at all.
I was done. But
Nope.
it sounds like we're trashing the film, and I don't
It
want people.
does, but I would go see this again.
I would go see it again, and I guess it's one of those things where I was like, it's so outrageous that it and maybe because I really do like the films after hating on them in the beginning. Like I don't like two. I like
I have a soft spot for 2 now, but I
I
didn't like it at first.
I like parts of two. I love Tyrese in two, and I love that we got Tej in two. I don't like Tokyo Drift. I don't like
Yeah,
Tokyo
Tokyo
Drift.
Drift is my least favorite one.
But four, I was like, oh, okay, I'm coming around. Five is when I was in. Five was I
Sure.
was like, okay, I'm in, I'm in. And then you get six, you get seven, you get eight, and I was like, okay, okay. So I'm in on the films. Nine, I was still in, but I knew it was missing something. And I was like, well, let's see how they do this whole cipher thing. Let's see how they bring it back. And I did like the addition of John Cena, even though I was like, I'm not buying this.
Mhm.
10, I'm like, thank God for Jason Momoa, because I'm telling you right now, if Jason Momoa wasn't in this,
Oh, yeah, this would be a
oh,
hard movie to watch.
oh, ooh,
It's a thing we've talked about before where we've compared Transformer movies to Fast and Furious, and I've always said Fast and Furious knew how to take itself lighter.
yes.
For me, Transformers, something as crazy it is, there was a seriousness to it that shouldn't be there
Mhm.
for a movie about giant fucking robots.
And that's why I love The Last Night. I know you don't like it, but that's why I love The Last Night, because I was like,
Is
finally,
that the one with the butler
yes,
robot? Oh, God,
that's
yeah,
one of Anthony
terrible.
Hopkins, because I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
Finally, we're getting to that point. Don't get me wrong. I like three, Dark of the Moon. I do like three. I
Mhm.
like and it's, racism aside, I like two. It doesn't make any sense, but I do like two. Um, but it's one of those things where as I'm watching these films, I'm realizing that they do GI Joe better than anybody else.
Sure.
The problem with GI Joe when it was a cartoon is that it never took itself too seriously. Nobody really died, and it was just mindless entertainment and had some cool toys with it. One, I've always said this. Fast and Furious has done a poor job of marketing when it comes to having action figures or a line of cars, or all that stuff. Like they're finally getting that stuff now.
Mhm.
I've always said that. But they're doing a better job of GI Joe and that type of action where the stakes are high, but you know how it's going to end up better than anybody else. But now with 10, I'm like, ugh, man, y'all better be glad Jason Momoa signed up, because I'm gonna be honest with you, Jason Momoa saved this movie.
I'd agree with that. Yeah. Um, and I don't know if it's in contracts where the bad guys have to become friends. And I guess Cypher isn't necessarily a friend. She just said enemy of my enemy is
Mhm.
whoever. So she's not she's trying to we don't know what her ultimate end goal is. She's just trying to survive and whether that means screwing over Toretto or not. What I couldn't figure out is Cypher. You see some random dude come into your complex. Why don't you just shoot him in the head before he even starts talking? What is
Because
that? You
because
let
here,
him talk for like 10 minutes. Just shoot him.
see, and I will say this. I really, so when he walked onto the scene, I liked him, because I was like, he was like, "Hey, Alex," and I was just like, just the playful banter. I liked him. The problem that I don't like about this movie is again, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie, and two, they're recycling some of the same things. Remember that car move where Dom catches his son
Sure.
from John Cena? They
Yeah.
did that in Seven.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, I really wanted to see, because again, I think eight is one of the best ones. I think eight is one of the best ones where they took over a submarine. They were pushing torpedoes with cars. The Rock is running around. Ted, like those movies, and it didn't have that feel to it.
Sure.
And this movie was a lot of exposition building up to something.
Somebody pointed this out. Like, granted, I mean, they still had a street race, a drag race, which is cool, but there's like more fight scenes and like car scenes,
Yeah.
which is weird for a Fast and Furious movie. I mean, I enjoyed the fight scenes, but it's just like, yeah, there should be more car scenes. And also, someone else pointed out that like these movies were really known for doing a lot of stuff practically,
Hmm.
as much as they could. But now it seems like they're just doing more and more CGI, car stuff as opposed to practical car stuff.
So I will say this. So I know it seems like we're kind of down in the movie, and I don't want people to get that impression. Let's talk about some of the things that we liked about it. I loved some of the shooting of it was really good. So you talked about the drag strip or the car racing. Did you remember that shot from his homeboy to Dom to Elena's sister, which we hadn't even gotten to, and then you saw um what's his name? Jason Momoa, that
Mhm.
tracking shot, that
Mhm.
was a cool last shot. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. I like, and there was a lot of stuff that I really thought was really good. I'm gonna be honest with you, Jason Momoa walking on screen. So,
I want all of his outfits. They looked incredible.
son, that scene with it, where he told, remember when he walked in and he told Cypher, he was like, and he took all all her guards or whatever,
Hmm.
and he was like, "Nerds, come with me," and then
Yeah.
they left, and then we go to Rome, and then he's doing the nails, and he's having like a spa day, and he's talking to the nerds,
To
and
the
then
dead people.
the
Yeah.
freaking hilarious. Like
Yeah. It was
I
good.
was I was like, bravo. So, what were some of the things that you were just like,
As much as I wanted more of the car stuff, I really like the fight scenes. Again, give me. I think. I think the people that were in it, like I'm trying to figure out how to say this because clearly, like to me, the standout was Jason Momoa just based on his character.
mhm,
I feel like other people had little vignettes to do things that were cool, but again, they had to do everything in service to Dom's character, so they didn't get much to do. But
yes,
like I thought was weird, and I guess they needed it to show it at the end. But the fight between Tej and Roman
mhm.
seemed kind of forced
Oh, it's
because
fake.
like Roman, I mean Tej, you always know this is how Roman is, so this isn't new for him to be. Why are you
Yeah,
so mad at him now? That's weird. But I guess they needed that so that they can show that they grew when they shook hands. But I don't think you needed it. But I think that's
no,
what
you
they're
did,
going
and
for.
that's and so I didn't need that. What I did like was, I think what I want to see going forward is Alan Richson's Jason Momoa, the two of them doing dastardly things together, because I think they work. I think they will work well together, because I did like Alan Richson's character. Just this hulking of a white man just walking through Brazil, and
You
somebody's
still
like,
haven't seen Jack Reacher yet, right?
I have not.
That's good.
And just he just exudes confidence. I liked him. I
Yeah.
really did. I think he was a great addition to the movie. Um, I th- I I'm already imagining the marquee for the next couple of films, because I think you're going to have like a holy trinity of the good guys of The Rock, probably Dom's of course could be in the middle, The Rock on one side, and probably Statham on the other side.
Well, I mean, based on the in fiction universe, that's the only three people you can show right now
But
because everybody else is dead.
what I would love to see is on the other side, the marquee of being Jason Momoa, Richson, and Cypher. Those three on that side. Also, I based on everything we've seen, Idris Elba's coming back, and he's going to help out Jason Statham.
Well,
So,
I mean, I heard there's talks about another Hobbs and Shaw movie
I mean,
because I mean we don't know where Queenie is. Queenie Helen
mhm,
Mirren, Dame
yep,
Helen Mirren, national treasure, is in this movie for a little bit.
we don't know where Luke Evans is, or we
Yeah,
don't know where just Jessica Kirby is either.
Vanessa Kirby.
Vanessa Kirby, so
Well,
his
she not,
sister.
yeah, well, I'm
She
okay
in.
with that because we've never seen her in the Fast movies. We've seen her in the Hobbs and Shaw
That's
universe.
but what I'm saying is, I think in these movies you're going to see everybody.
I don't know.
I think you're going to see
Behind
everybody.
the scenes, I'm still pretty sure The Rock and Vin Diesel don't get along. So I wonder how they're going to be in the next movie. I wonder if they're ever going to actually be in scenes together. I could see them somehow working it out where they shoot all their scenes separately and you
Mhm.
never see them in the same shot.
Oh yeah, I can see
So
that too.
I don't know if you're going to get Hobbs and Shaw people
But that,
in this universe.
that's what I'm saying. But the difference is, I think you're going to get Hobbs and Shaw people in this universe, because I think Hobbs is going to have his own crew. In other words, Dom is going to try to piece together his own crew, his own family, to save who he can, to go up against Jason Momoa.
Mhm.
Jason Momoa is realizing, okay, I need to pull some people together because I have Alan Richardson, who's no longer going to be in charge of the agency anymore because he probably got outed. Or maybe he still has
Did
an
he?
agency. I don't know. I don't know.
Nobody
But
nobody was there to tell on him.
but here's the thing: what I would like to see, what I think is going to happen. I think The Rock is going to show up, being The Rock, because again, the movies are better with The Rock. Say what you will about what his problems with the Warner Brothers and the Black Adam situation, whatever. Water under the bridge. He does well in these movies. He is very good in these movies, and I think the movies benefit from having him in them. I think that was one of the problems that you had in nine, and why seven and eight worked so well, is because well, five, six, seven, and eight they worked so well is because you had The Rock in them as a foil who did turn and help them out. He balances out that missing piece, which is Paul Walker.
Sure.
And I think having the Hobbs and Shaw people come over allows you to kind of like, hey, some of your people are dead. This gives The Rock an ability to maybe kind of relaunch his Hobbs and Shaw films. Um, that's just my wishful thinking because I think Hobbs and Shaw didn't like, and I owned the movie. I had a free digital code for somehow I don't know. I own the movie. I've seen it 3 times, and I'm like every time I watch it, I'm like, ugh, this is just not great.
Mhm.
I think this is an opportunity for both of them to save face.
Okay. What was I gonna say? I'm hoping because we know this is well when it was originally announced, it was supposed to be
Two
a two
movies.
a two-part movie.
Now it's a
Now
trilogy.
there's talk. Well, Vin Diesel wants it to be a trilogy. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's a trilogy yet.
Well,
But I
we'll
mean,
see.
what Vin Diesel wants, Vin Diesel gets, I guess. Um, but having said that, maybe the characters that didn't get to do much in this movie will get to do more in the finale part. I'm kind of thinking of the way like, oh, we didn't really get Hawkeye in Infinity War because we got him in Endgame,
Mhm.
that type of thing. So maybe we'll get to see more from because Han is an awesome character.
Yep.
Ramsey's an awesome character, so maybe they'll get to actually do something in the next one. And I imagine Han would do something to get back with Giselle, whatever.
Well, not just that. Like we saw Han show up with Jason Statham's character, and it's like, yeah, they fought in the beginning, but there was no no acknowledgement. Like Jason Statham shows up thinking he killed Han, and it's like, bruh, you were wrong. Like, and like I said, it's just
Well,
one of
people
those.
don't apologize in this world.
I
People don't apologize in this world.
it's not an
And
apology.
in Fast Nine, Vin Diesel, hey Jacob, you need to leave because you did so and so. Oh, you did it because our dad told you to. Okay, he didn't apologize to him.
True, and I understand. I guess I wish there was something there, like because it was the meeting we were looking for, that we wanted, that we got, that we in that trailer we were like, okay, they finally get, and it wasn't to my standards, it wasn't to my liking. So, and
Well,
that's just me.
yeah, I think that's an issue with the series general. Like none of the scenes necessarily reach a final conclusion. Like the fight between Letty and Cypher, as cool as it was, like the way they end it, there isn't necessarily a resolution. It just before like it fully ends, it cuts to another scene, and then now they're working together again. And I guess the idea was like, oh, we fought, we're good, but they didn't really have a wrap up. But I
Yeah.
mean, I just feel like that's what the movie is.
Mm.
Um,
Could be.
having said all that, go see this movie, y'all. It's fun.
Yeah.
If you've been on board this time
If you've
since,
been on this long,
yeah, go watch it. It's fun. It's not. There's definitely worse movies you could watch out there.
Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I will say, I don't know. I don't hate it, but I feel like you don't need to see it.
What, Hobbs and Shaw?
Either Fast 10 or Hobbs and Shaw.
Wait, you just said go see this movie.
I'm telling you, go see it, make your own opinion. I'm saying if you're not going for Jason Momoa, this is all right. I went to see this movie, but I wanted to see what Jason Momoa was going to bring, and I was not disappointed. And I don't know how much I can tell you Jason Momoa carried this film. He like
Sure.
every like I the only reason why I was able to buy into this, all of Dom's bullshit or all Vin Diesel, whatever that came with this movie, Jason Momoa in it makes it work. And the only reason why any of this works is because of Jason Momoa and not Vin Diesel's character. And that's the thing that I want people to understand, that it's worth it for Jason Momoa alone. And it is a credit that the Fast and Furious movies was able to give Jason Momoa the platform to be this person. So that's a credit to the things that came before. But this Fast 10, it has Dom's face on it, but don't go see it for him. Go see it for Jason Momoa because he's the reason that this movie works.
Let us know if you're going to see it. Have you already seen it? Let us know in the comments below. You saw the supers pop up on the screen there. Like, comment, subscribe. Click on the bell so you know when we put up more videos. Find us at We Trying Y'all, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, all those places. And we out. Peace.
Deuces.